All right, so let me just close that. This podcast, this Mythic Plus SoloQ system, I really wanted to talk about this. Uh, I got a little bit I tried to make a video and I just got too angry trying to live react essentially to the entire section, and it got like way too long. Uh, Considering this is like what 20, anyways, 17 minutes. Yeah, I was like 50, 60 minutes in on my argument. So the main points, let's start with like Tettles, for example. His main points were that it's going to be too long of a queue system. Like you're going to be stuck in queue for too long. He cited 30 minutes because he said that the LFR takes 30 minutes to get into. So, of course, Mythic Plus solo queue system would take 30 minutes to get into. Specifically as a DPS, of course. I mean, if you're a tank and healer, it doesn't matter what you do, you always get instant access, of course. And, I'm just telling people take advantage of that. Like, it's really good. But, anyways, the idea that the queues are going to be way too long. First of all, if you're not a meta class, your queues are always going to be super long in LFG. It's just not a timer that counts up. You don't see the timer, but if you actually just like put like a Google the timer and just like put it up and then try to queue up in this system as a Fury Warrior or literally anything that isn't like augmentation or Fire Mage or something like that, you're definitely going to see some long ass queue times, and you're probably not going to get into the group that you wanted or the key that you wanted or anything like that. So I don't think, if anything, it would be a net neutral. But the good thing about that is that you just have to press a button and you're in the queue and you just go do something else. And the great thing about World of Warcraft, unlike other games like Overwatch or League of Legends or Valorant or CS:GO or CS, I guess, CS2. Anyways, is that you press the Q and you just wait. There's nothing else to do. In WoW, there's so much else you can do, and yeah, you can just go do your world quest or something. Anyways, 30-minute queues. And my argument is that it's not going to be 30-minute queues. I don't think so. The thing is that when you're a spec or a class or a DPS that people don't want, they pretty much never invite you. So like you sign up for a group, they decline you, that group goes through the dungeon, does the entire dungeon, finishes the dungeon, and then creates another group of queuing. Like they make another group, and you sign up for, you're still in the queue, and you sign up for that group and you still get declined, or maybe you get accepted, but you know what I mean. Like it's multiples of the same people in the queue declining you, kind of artificially creating this environment of like, you know, yeah. Anyways, I don't think it's going to be like that, or I don't think this argument is strong enough to just make it so that no, we should never try Mythic Plus solo queue system, like not even for like a season, not even like for a, a season 4, just try it for the heck of it. Although me and many others, I guess, well, they at least don't like season 4. I don't like season 4. I think they screwed it up last time. So another argument is that I think they got really defensive about this is because they thought essentially, I think they were like internally thinking, this is going to replace our LFG system. They were very, very protective of their LFG system, of the big ass friends list that they have, of really, really good players. I never thought about it like that. I thought it would be like two systems, and they very quickly dismissed the idea of it being two systems that work side by side. But there's a very easy, simple solution to this. The keys that you do in a solo queue system only go up to a 10, and yeah, you can pretty much only queue up for like a plus 10 or 11 or maybe even 12, but that's it, right? After that, all the rewards, everything that you want to get is completely capable of doing in a mythic plus in the mythic queue system. multi-plus queuing system. Wow, there's too many words. But if you want to do something beyond that, something much more challenging, something much more harder, and only really for like the valor of it, not the valor stones, but like the glory and the bragging rights, you can go into the LFG system and do it like that. Or if you are like maybe like you think maybe like, oh, but I have a key and I want to push it, but like why? Uh, sorry. Yeah, one of Squishy's arguments was that I have a key, it's my key, I want it to succeed, I want to push it, like I don't want my key to like I just put it into the SoloQ system and it immediately depletes because someone leaves. I agree with that. I mean, that would be terrible, which is why I don't think they would ever create that kind of system where you like you go into a solo queue system, you put your key in as like a gambling risk or something, and then you either lose it or you win it because someone left or something like that. I mean, I don't think that would obviously not work. His argument also is that this is like a bit of a side tangent of mine, but like the argument of like I have the key, I'm gonna make the group so that I can have the greatest success of timing it. People gotta realize that you're kind of making like an illusion of choice when you think that because you made the key, you made the group, that you are gonna like only invite the best people. But I mean, so long as you understand the fact that if you're inviting augmentation evokers thinking that's the best spec, I'm gonna invite it, or I'm inviting fire mages because so many people, but you're not realizing how many people are re-rolling two like arcane mage currently or frosty case, but have absolutely no idea how to use any of its utility or anything. They just press damage buttons and just like expect everyone else to do the hard work for them. Like what you want is like a rogue or something like that. Like someone who's been playing rogue for a long time, who like CCs everything for you, does a cool shroud skip, you know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff. Like it brings utility, brings defensives, like baseline defensives and stuff like that. And of course Bloodlust and of course Battle Rest. But beyond that, like just invite the Fury Warrior. Like if you already have Bloodlust, if you already have Battle Rest, just invite the damn Fury Warrior. I don't understand why people think like, no, I need augmentation. Like you're making your key worse by picking the augmentation. Trust me on that one. Like I don't like that argument of like it's my. If anything, the fact that you made the group and you made the key, if anything fails, even if like someone just like takes a wrong step or like goes to the wrong location or pulls one wrong mob, you get so angry, you get so pissed that like how dare they try and ruin my key. Or like, dude, chill. Like it's just like we're just trying to play the game. Exactly. Like we're just trying to play the game. And that's another argument of why I would much rather have a solo queue system than an LFG system. But of course, I think it would be both. But I would rather use a solo queue system. Is that I just want to play the damn game. Like currently we got heroics coming out, and that's like the most challenging content that you can do at the moment. And it's so much fun to just like, even though they're somewhat challenging, it's so much fun to just like press a button as a DPS, go do one or two world quests, and boom, I'm in the queue. I'm DPSing. I'm having a good time. I don't have to like deal with this LFG politics, right? They already have so many people that they can just talk to. They can just like, hey, you want to do keys? And like, yeah. And they know these people are really, really, really good players. And even if these players bring their off meta spec or something like that, they're gonna be really, really good. They don't use they don't even use their own LFG system, to be honest. They're in a completely different category of like elite LFG, where like they never even look down to see the other people on the streets fighting for their lives over here. Like their noses are so up in the air. Sorry, it's a that's a lame analogy, but I'm trying to say like I don't think they realize how bad, annoying, and just like dejected you get from using the LFG system when you're just trying to do like a +6. Like without anyone else in the group, without any guildies, without any super high rated players, without you being a streamer and making a group, and of course, people in the stream who are already probably more inclined to be better players are signing up for that key, right? It doesn't matter what the item level or score of people is. It's very easy to get item level. You just play the same character, and it's very easy to get score. You just play the same character, and you will get the score, but it will not mean that you're good at the game at all in any capacity. It's very easy to get carried. Like you can very easily carry two people, one or two people in each key, by just being good, like being a great tank, being a great healer, and two DPS that are absolutely pooping themselves doing crappy damage. It's very easy to just like carry them through the dungeon. They even have like a graph here of like how long you have to wait on average as a player. 7 minutes as a DPS. Like this is for Overwatch, but like waiting 7 minutes as a DPS for Q. Like okay, why? It's not even that bad. Like it's genuinely not even that bad. Like this is like even in like super popular games like League of Legends, you're still waiting. Like even though they don't actually have like a DPS tank healer per se, you're still waiting. Like you're still waiting a decent amount of time if you're trying to pick the most popular role. But I think it's like mid or something like that. I don't actually know. I think actually support is like one of the most uh, popular roles. So you're waiting like a long time in that. Anyways, um, I don't think this is going to happen. I mean, personally, I think there are so many people, like so much people, who have anxiety about trying to do the LFG system, and they really, really just want to press a button and go, and then figure it out later. And if someone is being toxic, you just mute them, and and just go. And if the key fails, you just go again, right? And you think like one of the arguments that Tal said, like you sign up for a queue, it's going to take 30 minutes, you get into the game, someone immediately leaves because, why would there ever be a penalty system for leaving? Now, of course, there's going to be a penalty system for leaving. Come on. Like, there's even a penalty system for leaving in a leveling dungeon. So, anyways, you leave the key, someone leaves the key, and you're back into your 30-minute queue. Like, no? Of course you're not back into your 30-minute queue. You go into a priority system to get into, like, immediately into the next key. Like, of course. Of course you would. And what about, like, oh, this key is obviously a lost cause, but these people, like, but everyone's still trying, and nobody wants to leave because they don't want the penalty. Simple. Surrender system, of course. Like, you're just like, hey, this key is clearly over. I mean, it's very common in like high keys to just like, guys, we're obviously not gonna make this. So like, yeah, let's just call it, right? Or restart or go again. So you just requeue, like surrender and requeue, or like surrender and leave and don't get a penalty. As simple as that. I don't understand. Yeah, like Growl. I was very thankful of Growl not being so like super downer on this idea. They like shut it down, shut this out. I've never seen like this is a very surprising amount of negativity towards a an idea that I mean, like I feel like they didn't either they've already made up their mind on this, or they didn't just like think about like the other people. They're just like thinking. I think they are just thinking about themselves a little bit too much here. Like, why would I use this? How would I use this? When would I use this? I mean, Tuttles even said like this would actually like SoloQ system would actually be good content creator content. Like, I mean, sure, whatever. I don't really care about that. I just want to play the damn game. This is the only video game in the entire existence of my life that I play where I am not allowed to play. Like I come home from work, I'm tired, I'm good to go. I've done my stuff. I log into my WoW. I log on to my character. Oh, I'm playing a survival hunter. I'm actually quite decently geared. I've got good score. And no, you're not allowed to play. Nobody decided to play with you. Like nobody has decided to accept you. Okay, well, I don't know any other game. Like League, I just queue up. Overwatch, I just queue up. Uh, Counter Strike queue. Any solo game. Imagine if you put it up Elden Ring. It's just like, no, you're not good enough to like take on this boss. Like you're using dual wielding swords. Nah, dude, like the barrier to get into the boss instance is declining you. Like, what do you, this is the only game where it's just like it's up to other players, and everybody knows us WoW players are absolute garbage at any like any opinion, any decision on like we have absolutely no idea what we're talking about. Like I don't understand. Like and people get so biased towards like if they invite someone who is on off meta spec and they do badly, it's like, oh, I knew it. Every single off meta spec is terrible. Versus if someone is like a mage or something does something bad, you're just like, oh, that's like a reroller, But I'm still gonna invite mages because that's like my best gamble. But it's just the players. It has nothing to do with like what they're playing or how like. I don't know. I feel like it's a bit of an illusion of choice when you're like thinking that you have to invite the best of the best. Although I think the biggest choice is absolutely inviting a Bloodlust and a Valorous. Anyways, I feel like I've like gone over most of the points that they made in the video. Maybe like read a little bit of the comments I saw here. Like I already spent 30 minutes to an hour staring at the group finder, either waiting for a tank or healer, or applying to groups over and over until I get accepted. SoloQ just removes that mind-numbing tedium of the group finder. Exactly. Like I feel like it would be either a net neutral, which would be a positive because you just have to press a button and just wait. But I honestly think that so much more people would much rather just queue up for this system, and that creates so much more people playing the game. It'd be so much easier to get into a group. And another argument is even like if you're in a position where you are getting declined all the time, it is because like there's definitely an abundance of DPS players, right? But the thing is that it's always the same DPS players who are getting into the groups. That's, I think, the big one. Right? You think the queue times are really long. In reality, they're just not picking specifically you and other people. So you get along. Like if you reroll into a meta mage spec or whatever, it's always mage, man. It's always mage. Like if you reroll into the best spec in the game, the best DPS spec in the game, I will guarantee you will not have these long queue systems. Like whenever I play my mage in like back in season 2 of Dragonflight when I was trying that out, like, it took me minutes, like a couple of minutes to get into a group, if not even that. Like sometimes it was just as quick as tanks getting into queues, getting into groups. It was super fun. It was really great. Meanwhile, all the other like survival hunters and back then like a Frosty case, for example, but now they're pretty good. Nope, nothing. Like they just didn't get into a group ever. Give tanks and healers bonus rewards, crests and valor storms that increase as much DPS are stuck waiting in queue. I think just looking like it, I think you just queuing up in this Mythic Plus queuing system will incentivize you to go tank and healer. Like it will just be like it's so much like easier to like I can just like queue up for a +2 or like a super weak key and I can just test out my healing. Absolutely great. Like it takes away so much of the burden. Like can you imagine trying to play like League of Legends and you're just like, I'm an AD carry main or something, but I want to try support. So I have to go into this LFG system, look up people, and they see like, oh wow, this guy has never played support. Decline, decline, decline. Of course, like decline, decline, decline. But you just want to try support in your like low ranked games or quick play even, right? But nope, you can't even like try to practice support because no one would take you in. But you just queue up as a support and you just go. Like it's no problem at all. Okay, something important for solo queue dungeons is that it changes the dynamic from maybe I'll get into a Mythic Plus today to I definitely will be able to play the game. Very much agree. Now, for non-meta DPS players, the queue might be long, but that's still more dungeons than they probably play currently. Sorry, I can't. It's so small. I can't read this. It is just objectively better for off-meta tanks and healers too. If I like to play this priest or brewmaster, then I'm more likely to want to play the game because I'm not sitting in group finder forever applying to 5 groups. Yeah, exactly. Waiting 5 minutes to be up, so I can apply to others. Another absolutely terrible like thing about the LFG system is that you can only apply to 5 groups at a time. But there's a reason for that. They don't want everything to be spammed. I just don't care. Like I can filter out exactly what kind of groups I want to. I just want to do a +10 for my weekly, so I just like write 10 minus 10, and that gives you like all of the +10s. It's like from 10 to 10 essentially. Like look for keys from 10 to 10, and then I just like sign, like sign up for 5 groups, and then I just wait. If anyone declines, I just sign up for another one. Sign. I don't. I'm essentially treating the system as a queue system, like a solo queue system. Like, I if I could just sign up for every group, I would just do that, and I think more people would do that. Which is, I think, an example of how bad the system is. Like, if you were able to do something so annoying for people who are trying to make groups where they just get spammed, although wouldn't that be great? They like much more easily pick whatever they want because so many people would be signing up. Although maybe that also means that so many people would also maybe be declining the other group because they can sign up for more groups, which means they get accepted to more groups. Where was I? Anyways, 5 minutes applied to others. In that sense, I think it does increase the amount of players, of healers and tank players. I think so as well because it takes away the like like I think a lot of people like me like have already dealt with the LG system so much that by this time I don't even like regard it. I just wait for my guildies to come online and we just play together. Like I don't even want to deal with the SoloQ system. By how much? Who knows? Exactly. We don't know. Not even Blizzard knows. That's why they're maybe trying to test it. But I personally would be more willing to try to push higher keys instead of just hitting that wall where it takes forever to join a group on my priest. Yeah, exactly. Although I don't know, like I think it's a completely different idea or thought of the very high keys being solo queue stuff. I think that is it. Like, let's test out the waters first with like up to +10s. Even though +10s, if they came out currently, they would be really difficult. But like later in the season, they're gonna be super easy. And then later on, like okay, let's see if like a solo queue system for the top 0.1% is actually an idea. Towards settle points on the queue times being high, aren't queue times already high if you aren't listing your own key? Yes, they are, but Tettles doesn't know about that because Tettles doesn't use that system. It would be one thing if groups were actually being formed in the frequency that the community needed, but that doesn't happen. And it sucks that we have to wait 30 minutes for a group, wipe on the first pull and disband. Exactly. I mean, that's not going to change, but it's still there. It's already there. However, that is literally what already happens. Yeah, exactly. Sorry, I'm ahead of the. Sorry. This is also because people hate forming groups due to how crappy the community is. Very much agree. At a certain key level, playing with people you don't know is asking for your key to be bricked and all of your hard work pushing will be lost. Exactly. These players at the high end don't ever do this. They don't ever gamble on the idea of inviting some random. They're only inviting people they quite literally know and sometimes have even met in real life. You know what I mean? Like, it's just streamer privilege, unfortunately. In a solo queue system, Blizzard would be able to implement things to encourage players to stick around or complete the key. I mean, if we want to be really negative, yeah, like a punishment system of like, if you leave a key, you can't queue up for another hour, or even worse. Like, you could still get valuable practice and have the system exactly. Like, even if you have like, even if like 90% of the keys are failing, imagine the amount of people learning. Just like we talk about this time and time again. What's the best thing to get better at the game? Just play the damn game. You have to get into the game and play. Even as a tank, like how do you get better as a tank? You have to deplete keys. That's just a matter of fact. You just have to be the guy that depletes the key to get better as a tank. Otherwise, you'll never get better. Maybe have a vote where four out of the five people have to accept to spam the key. Exactly, a surrender system. If someone leaves without doing that, then they flag that character where they locks them out of the system. Yeah. Preferably do it in a way where it has preferably do it in a way where they have to do something to get back into good standing with the system. Yeah. Yeah. I completely agree. Like nobody likes a rager, nobody likes these negative people that are like, trying to like in the key because they're in a bad mood. This solo queue discussion is pretty frustrating to listen to. They are assuming that it will work way too much as the current system. I agree that it's not likely to be good, but for different reasons, and for this whole discussion was just a bit of the absolutely like way off the mark. I think this was a bit of a situation of like yeah, I almost immediately thought of the analogy of like imagine like a group a board meeting of people trying to discuss like it's like all men trying to discuss how what's the best solution for periods, like they have no idea what they're talking about. They should not be talking about this subject. Like even if they made like a series of like Growl did, he made the Giant B series of the mage going undercover, going like I'm just gonna like queue with, on my own, like the problem with that is that he did not really spend a lot of time with that. He still understands this, and he still kind of like tries to like argue against them, like, "Hey guys, I think you're being a little bit too downer on this subject," which they absolutely were. But I don't think he even really like fully understands how bad it is really. Like, if you want to really do like a proper like check on how bad the LFG system is for lower end players, for people doing plus tens to like up to plus tens, it is so bad. You have to do an entire season of it, like not just like a couple of dungeons, and then like within like episode 3 or 4 of the Jank B series, he was already doing keys like plus 25 keys with like his friends and stuff like that. Like I'm just trying to say, like, if you really want to feel the suffering, try to go an entire season of playing a character in this group key. And what I want you to do is that I want you to re-roll in the middle of the season and go again, and then re-roll towards the end of the season and go again. You will really try to like you will really understand. Also, is Tedros qualified for making those claims about solo shuffle ruining arena when Rookie was on the Podyssey and said it's great? That was one of the arguments where I was absolutely losing my head over in my previous video of why is Tedros talking about solo queue's PvP system as if it is the same thing as Mythic Plus? I understand it's a queue system in World of Warcraft, so you definitely want to make the comparison. But I'm sorry, it's just not the same thing. It's not. It just isn't. Like it's different people. There's way less PvPers that are like at least arena PvPers, and those kind of like competitive PvPers is so much smaller of a space than than Mythic Plus, right? or random battleground PvPers. So no, I don't think. I think I don't know what he is like. He was trying to make argument with that. And if you're seeing my suggestions for Game Grumps, yeah, I love to love to listen to them in the background while I do other stuff. And I mean, if you're this long into the video, yeah, uh, I do like to listen to some background Game Grumps. It is a good ass time. I love Dan. He is my favorite. Anyways, let's go over a couple of more comments like. The off-meta solo queue experience isn't waiting 30 minutes for an invite. It's spam applying to groups for an hour plus before giving up and logging off. Yeah, I think it. I don't think it's an hour long. I mean, I think I lose my patience within like the first 5 minutes because I'm just reminded of how terrible the system is and how much I really don't like seeing you've been declined, you've been declined, you've been declined, even though I completely outgear or outscore the key or something like that. Uh, like yeah, I mean, I lose my patience very quickly, which is why I just don't use it anymore. I stopped using it. I joined the guild, and if you're gonna say, yeah, exactly, that's the argument, just join a guild. No, no, you should not have to join it. Like, what if you're in a guild where it's just not the people who are doing the keys that you like? Well, then just join another guild. Wow, just like replace all my friends. Like I've been in this guild. I love these people. Like I'm having a good time here. I want to raid with these people. They're good raiders. They just don't do Mythic Plus. Like then just join another guild. Like what do you like? Just replace all of your friends. Like what are you talking about, man? Like, oh, just then just like work on creating a system where you can play with other players. Like make a friends list. Like why do I have to work so hard when the entire system could just be fixed with like solo queue press one button? I don't understand this. If I want to play with certain people, I can absolutely play with certain people. But most people don't have those people. Anyways, I think solo queue for Mythic Plus would be fine. I don't know why he has that kind of incantation. I don't know. Well, anyways, you would just put a score requirement for queues for queue for keys to queue for queues to queue for keys. Wow, I am absolutely out of it here. The score for solo queue and grouping would be the same, so you could just pick either. I think I think it would be smarter to just have a different rating system. You just have solo queue rating and you have LFG rating. I don't know. I think the only hurdle of that would be that when you switch over to LFG and you have zero score, you might face some discrimination from people being like, oh, I'm not gonna invite a solo queuer. What the hell? Even though solo queuers would probably be better because they probably don't communicate as much, but they're still like they've still been able to get to this point by just like learning the game. I don't know, man. Like, anyways, uh, while it looks like Solo Shuffle killed threes, it was pretty much dead before Solo Shuffle hit the scene. It just nailed the last nail into the coffin. A huge positive of Solo Shuffle is that it forces Blizzard to actually balance every class. Now, I don't know anything about PvP or anything like that, but like I think if it is correct that the 3v3s was already dead before Solo Q hit the scene, I think that is actually yes, wasn't that what happened? And also saying solo shuffle killed 3v3s is like yeah, okay, but like maybe it's because people just want to play the damn game. They don't want to deal with the LSU system of like, you know, doing this. Like they're tired of like getting also declined and all that stuff. So they just want to play the damn game. And I think also because they're trying rated solo queue battlegrounds this time around, let's see the success of that. Like, let's see how that goes. Uh, um, okay, last one here. Okay, listen up. Very similar to League of Legends, solo queue is where everyone play solo queue, but then you also have competitive premates. Two game modes: solo mythic plus solo queue and premate. Yeah, yeah. I don't know why we can't have both. First one always awards gear, score, crest, and has a rating attached to it. No keys, no depletion, only rating attached to a success rate. Yeah, this we get This will let the good players and not play only meta. I agree. If you're a good player and your spec is not 30% worse than everything, you go up. Yeah. And it would make Blizzard maybe balance the game. It will also incentivize play for score and get a knowledge. Get a knowledge? Get acknowledged. Fresh meat in the ladder. Exactly. I think more people would be doing the SoloQ system. Important note, if you have a vendor at the start, like for Dells, where you can just buy scrolls, like Battle Rest, Lust, pre-buffs, array buffs, yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't understand why we could just like, why that couldn't, exactly, like you can only use this Battle Rest scroll inside of pre-made solo queue, no, sorry, not pre-made, in solo queue system, like if there's like an issue of like, oh, I queued up but there's no battle rest or there's no uh bloodlust, or what do we do? Like just give them that. It's like, hey, we see that you don't have a mage in the group or you don't have a shaman. Here's bloodlust. Go ham. Then there's the second game mode, pre-made. This does not reward gear quest or anything. Okay, I don't know about that. That would make people very angry. It is like, no, you have a key, you upgraded, you go up. However, this is where the title, cosmetics, hopefully elite sets such as PvP. Please give us that. That would be so great. Mounts and portals. And once you're at a specific achievement, it would incentivize two types of playstyles that personally I find both equally compelling without forcing. Um, the thing is that if you have this high key system, the thing is like these high key players, they're obviously not doing it for crest. They're obviously not doing it for gear. Otherwise, they would spam like plus tens or whatever, plus nines. I think you only have to spam plus nines now. Uh, they would just rather do that, but they'd still like the rewards. So and the thing is like you don't lose anything. Like there's nothing being lost by just giving them also the rewards. Like I don't know why they have to like take it away. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna end this video right now because like it's just too long. It's too much like, and I've been too angry and like I don't know like why am I being suggested some Russian video? What does this even mean? Conflictology of internal. What the hell is this? Like, not interested. Anyways, if you actually watched this till the end here, what? Thank you actually for supporting me because I'm trying to make these kind of like long rant videos that are actually inspired by Total Biscuit of like discussions about the game and like how to make it better. And I really appreciate it. I'm trying to make this into like a place where people are more about commenting and making good comments about the post instead of like this just being like a Mr. Beast video where you click it and like haha funny like or whatever. I don't care about you liking or disliking the video. I want to and I just want to see comments about interesting stuff that you think about the game so we can talk about the game and learn more and get better together. If you're gonna comment something like "this was stupid, I hate you," if you actually comment that, if you just comment "this is stupid, I hate you," I will like your comment because then I know that you watched it till the end. But if you say something that, like if you say something else, then you probably didn't watch this till the end because you're just like, well, this video sucks and dislike, and I only watched 1 minute and I skipped the ads. I don't know. I don't think there aren't even any ads on this video. So yeah, bye bye.